31-year-old Mary Catherine Edwards lived in Beaumont, Texas in 1995. She was a respected teacher and had a large circle of friends and a close-knit family. Mary was last seen on the evening of Friday, January 13th of 1995 at the new townhouse she just moved into. Her parents grew concerned the following day when she did not respond to phone calls. They went to her home to check on her welfare, and they found a horrific scene. Mary had been drowned in her own bathroom. She had been handcuffed with her hands behind her back. An autopsy revealed that she had been assaulted as well. Investigators collected male DNA from her body and stored it for future use. For more than 25 years, the case remained unsolved. Then in April of 2020, investigators began using genetic genealogy to help find a suspect. They first found several distant cousins, which led them closer and closer to an arrest. Eventually, the DNA led them to Clayton Bernard Foreman. Foreman and Mary attended the same high school. They were also casual friends. Mary was even a bridesmaid at the wedding of Foreman and his first wife. Investigators also learned that the crime against Mary had similarities to a 1981 assault of one of Foreman's high school classmates. Foreman pleaded guilty to that crime and received 3 years of probation. Foreman was arrested in May of 2021 in Franklin County, Ohio, where he lived, and was charged with taking Mary Catherine Edwards' life. On Wednesday, September 22nd of 2021, Foreman was indicted. A date for the trial has not yet been released. "24-year-old Firozeh Deghanpour was a student at the University of Nebraska in Omaha in 1983. She disappeared from the college campus on August 13th of 1983 after attending her evening classes. Then, a day later, on August 14th, her body was discovered by fishermen under a bridge in Pigeon Creek in nearby Council Bluffs, Iowa. An autopsy would determine that Firozeh had been beaten, stabbed in the abdomen, and slashed in the throat. Over the next few months, several agencies worked together to try to find the culprit. Unfortunately, they were unable to, and the case went cold. Then, in 2020, one of Firozeh's friends reached out to investigators with the name of a possible suspect in the case. Investigators were quickly able to rule that person out because he had a solid alibi. When they took a new look at the case, though, they saw that detectives who worked on the initial investigation collected several pieces of evidence from the crime scene that might be useful now with advances in DNA technology. The evidence included a bra, underwear, blouse, notebooks, computer printouts, work gloves, prescription glasses, a beer can, and 2 pens. All of these items had been stored at the sheriff's office for nearly 4 decades. Investigators sent the items to the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation Laboratory for DNA testing and learned in March of 2021 that a blood-stained glove found at the scene contained Firozeh's DNA and that of a male. They were able to match the unidentified DNA to Bud Leroy Christensen through the National Combined DNA Index System, or CODIS, database. Investigators also found Christensen's fingerprints on papers that had been found near the body. Christensen has a long criminal history with many similar crimes that he has committed over the years. On April 30th of 2021, authorities announced that Christensen had been arrested and charged with taking Firozeh's life. Crime scene technician Hadley Mikovic said during the press conference that the arrest in the case was made possible because of the significant technological advances in DNA analysis in recent decades. "I would like to encourage the family and friends of victims to never give up hope and continue to work diligently with law enforcement agencies handling their investigations. Let Firozeh's case be an example that it is never too late to seek answers," she said. Firozeh's brother and father, who live in London and Iran respectively, were notified that an arrest was made. In late January of 1994, the owner of Bob's Car Wash in Jeanerette, Louisiana, made a gruesome discovery. He was taking out the trash when he found a deceased female baby inside a 55-gallon garbage can behind his business. The local coroner, Dr. James Falterman, did the autopsy. He also delivered the eulogy at the unnamed girl's funeral and addressed the 200-plus mourners. He said that when he saw the infant with her thumb in her mouth, he began to have cold thoughts of anger, of depression, and sadness. Dr. Falterman also noted that the girl was alive when she was thrown away, and that she probably lived just a few hours before succumbing to the cold. I couldn't find a sketch of the baby, but she was described as black and female and was named Baby Jane Doe. The acting police chief at the time, Kerry Davis, vowed to find the child's mother. It may not have happened on his watch, and it may have taken 25 years, but authorities say that it finally happened. The child's mother, 50-year-old Sonia Charles of New Iberia, was arrested in September of 2019. The Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office Cold Case Unit recently reopened the case after new leads were developed. The department's spokesperson, Major Wendell Rayborn, explained that a local cold case group helped bring renewed attention to the case and that new leads were brought to investigators' attention. DNA evidence collected from both baby Jane Doe and the crime scene was recently re-examined by a local laboratory, which in turn developed a DNA profile. That DNA profile, according to the Sheriff's Department, matched a sample obtained from Sonia Charles. Private investigator Stephen Maynard started the Cold Case Advocacy Group, which shone a new spotlight on this case. It's going to take a long time to heal. Family members know who she is now, he said. Maybe the baby can finally get a name. In May of 2021, an Iberia Parish grand jury indicted 52-year-old Sonia Parrish for taking the life of her newborn daughter. Following the indictment, she was booked into the Iberia Parish Jail on a $250,000 bond. Charles faces life in prison without parole if convicted.